So far, we have been working with MongoDB directly, but for MongoDB to excel in its area of storing data, we need to see how we can integrate MongoDB on applications. For that, there are many programming languages that allow you to do that. For this course, we are mainly interested in two programming languages, Python and R. After this video, you will be able to insert your data and recover your data from Python and R. You'll also be able to update fields on your collection. And finally, I will show you how to create a mini console application to look for movies to watch using both Python and R. I hope you are interested with this program, so let's get started. First, we want to install pymongo, which is the official Python driver maintained by MongoDB. To install it, you can use multiple methods. However, the easiest way, which I will use, is through pip install pymongo, which I will use is through pip. Now I can go ahead and switch to my favorite IDE to run my code. Again, we're still gonna work on the movies project. So the first code, I'm just gonna show you how to connect to MongoDB. So we start by importing pymongo, then we set up a client connecting to our local host at the default port. And we will set our database using db variable here to movies. And now, if we run db name, we should get back movies. And it means that everything is well so far. So let's try to run this. The database name is movies. Now, let's try some queries that we have been working with before. This one return a JSON of one of our movies list. If we run this, it will return a cursor that we need to iterate on. Now, we are going to upgrade things a little bit to make things more clear. You'll find the programs that I used in lessons/coding with Python folder. Here you can find all the programs that I'm going to show in the next few minutes. Similarly, using the find one command we did before, we can simply run find one, assign it to a movie variable, and we can use preprint in Python to get something like this, a formatted version of our movie. We can also run find, and remember before it returns back a cursor. So we'll do a loop on the find. In this case, we can print out the title of the movie. Now we'll see a number of titles and movies in our movies database. We can also sort this, so we can use a for loop and we add it onto the find sort by title, and in this case we're going to use pymongo ascending instead of 1 or -1, and then we can just limit like we did on a normal MongoDB shell. Let's try this last example program here. This one gives us a prompt asking for what movie we would like. Let's go ahead and ask for game something, and it will find the following movies: Game of Thrones, Game Night, Squid Game. And we have the synopsis as well, and it takes about 55 minutes, and then the main actors of these movies. So how did we accomplish this in Python? In this case, we will do a standard input to ask for a search keyword. We're going to output that back again, as well as a clean screen for them. And we are going to say we found the following movies. In this case, we're assigning the query to a variable and we'll still use it as a JSON here. So we tell it to print the title, and in this case, we're using a regex search. If you remember that from earlier in this tutorial, and we are saying it's case insensitive. This way we match all programs that has game in the title. You can also use a normal find query and try to find an exact match or any kind of variation that you want. Then we pass the query into find and construct the output. In this case, we print the runtime of the movie, the actors of the movie, and it will end up with something like this. Also note that if I do not choose any movie search query, you will end up with something like this. It will bring back all the movies on our collection. So you can see how it is easy to run queries using pymongo on Python, However, before we move on to R, let's see how we can insert and update documents from Python. So, let's start with inserting documents on MongoDB from Python. If you recall, we can use two methods to insert data on MongoDB. We have insert1 and insert_many. Let's see how we can use these two methods on pymongo. Similarly to what we did before, we have imported pymongo and we created a client. We use the client to call our database, which is MongoDB in our case. Then we can start inserting document on our collection movies. First, we use a movie document stored on a JSON file. So if we take a look at this variable, we can see it is a dictionary with all the fields that we need that we use to store our movies document. So I can easily run insert1 and feed it the data I want to insert. And you can see as I check out the insert ID that the document has been given the following object ID. Now I want to try with you a different type. So in here, I have a list of programs from Disney that we use it to watch as children. So I will use insert_many to insert all these documents. Now, if I check on MongoDB Compass, I get to see that I have Hannah Montana, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and The Wizard of Waverly Place on my collection. Great! Now, let's go update. So on my collection, I have my favorite series, Squid Game, and I want to go insert more authors on the author array using Python. So the way I start is the same as before. Import pymongo, create a client to connect to the database, and go update. So here I have two parameters that we use to filter and to update MongoDB. So first I will use the title to filter my document. Then I use push to add more actors to the series. And then finally, I update one and check that was it. So here you can see that it says that it updated a result at the following address. If Python is your programming language, then I think you have got enough materials to start choosing MongoDB with Python and merge your databases into non-relational databases. Next, we're going to talk about how to use MongoDB and R for your data analysis. R is a powerful language for statistical analysis, modeling, and visualization. If you want more information about R and Python, I recommend that you can go and watch this video. On the other hand, MongoDB offers a powerful querying features for big data analysis, and its flexible schema makes it natural choice for unstructured datasets. So, by connecting MongoDB to R, you can benefit from MongoDB flexibility and R analysis features to perform advanced data analytics in no time. In this tutorial, we will use RStudio to view the results and visualization all at one place. The most popular packages to connect MongoDB and R are mongolite, a more recent MongoDB driver. It can perform various operations like indexing, aggregation, and more, and it's based on a JSON-Lite package for R. RMongo, it's the first MongoDB driver. It has syntax like MongoDB shell, and it has been deprecated for now. MongoDB has function to create pipelines and handle JSON objects. It's not available or maintained on CRAN anymore. So the first thing we are going to see is how to connect MongoDB to R. If you need to install Mongolite, you can run install packages mongolite, or you can install it manually from packages, choose install, and type the name of the package that you want to install it. Next, we load it using library mongolite. We connect to MongoDB and retrieve the collection using mongo function in the R code. We connect to MongoDB and retrieve the collection using mongo function in the R code. URL is the address of the server MongoDB. Collection is the collection name to connect to it. The default value is test. DB is the name of the database that you want to connect to. Verbose takes either true or false as values. True to emit some more output. Options represent the option of the connection, like K and SSL certificates. As we can see, Mongo function takes as input the name of the database and collection. That means that MongoDB will allow you to interact with a collection of a database and not with the entire database. Therefore, we will only interact with one object pointing to a collection with which you can interact. So, unlike pymongo in Python, that can allow you to distinguish between client and database objects. You should also note that the URL defines the server address and additional connection options, like the password. For more information about this, you can check this video. As we mentioned it before, mongolite uses JSON syntax. However, we must specify it in the form of character string R. These strings will be subjects of various parameters. The first method we will use is count. Just like count in MongoDB, the method count will allow you to return the number of documents in the database or the number of results in a query. Count takes one single argument, which is in this case an empty document. Now, let's see how we can use find to extract documents from our collection. Like the method find in MongoDB, find in Mongolite allow you to query a collection by filtering documents and fields. It also integrates the possibility of limiting and sorting documents. The 5 arguments of this method are query, which corresponds to the query or the criteria that we will use to filter documents. Fields correspond to the fields that we want to return. Sort correspond to the field used to sort on while returning the results. Limit correspond to the limit of documents to be returned. Skip correspond to the choice of document to start with when returning the results. This method returns a data frame in R, as we can see in here. Inserting data on MongoDB from R is also easy. You can just use insert method to insert data to a collection. So, let's discover together how we can do that. We have here a data frame that we uploaded from a CSV, and we use listing $insert df stop on errors false, and we can see from the console that all documents are inserted into MongoDB. Note that we can also insert data from a JSON string directly, as we can see that we have 3 documents inserted on user's database. To change data on MongoDB, we can also use R. To do this, we can use the update method. For example, we can use user or $update where the first name is Yolan and set the age to 21. And you can see that it modified one document and it matched one document. So we can simply use find to see the modification we made. Import and export data from MongoDB are also supported by R through the use of export and import methods. So, to export a collection we can use, and we can see that the collection was exported on our folder. Now we can try and remove this collection. You can see that data was removed as the number of results is 0 here. And we can import data back using and we can see that the documents are back on the collection of MongoDB. Now you have enough material to use R for your data analytics and benefit from its performance. That was it for today's tutorial. You can start using MongoDB to host your data using both R and Python. If you liked the course today, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. In the next video, we will discuss administration and security of MongoDB databases. Bye for now.